Good morning. Well, day 3 on the bus build. Bit of a slow start this morning due to the fact that we had a big day yesterday on the boat, free diving and catching fish. Probably going to see that in the previous slide. Got lots of red snapper. It was a freaking awesome day. But today's agenda, we are going to remove a few of these windows, have a look at the frames. I really want to keep these 3 front windows as we can, but as I mentioned, I want to double glaze them somehow so that it's well insulated. So yeah, remove one of these windows. Got to give the floor a bit of a sweep up. Don't want any screws and stuff going outside because my auntie has horses and can't have them getting any screws in their hooves. Managed to put an AC in here yesterday, or my uncle did, Uncle Chris, the legend that he is. So it shouldn't be too hot in here when we're working during the day because it's Florida weather and it's hot and humid. But yeah, get the floor sorted, all that rest of that insto out. Didn't get a chance to do it the other night, but yeah, we can get some of these windows out, have a look at them, see what the go is with them, and then yeah, hopefully pressure wash in here today, so then tomorrow I can start buffing out any of this. It's not rust, but it's just a bit of garbage so that the floor pan's ready to be painted with kill rust paint. But yeah, get you on a time lapse and get started. So, just got rid of all the insulation, and I'll turn it on for you, there you go. Just got rid of all the insulation, and this is quite a decent tray up here, and I have seen people mounting their batteries up here. So you just run your solar straight down through the roof line, one of these lines here, and have an inverter at one end and then 3 batteries in here to run all your 12 volt stuff. It's not a bad idea because a lot of other people run them at the back under their bed, but seeing as I'm not having a bed at the back, I'm having a garage for dirt bikes to go in, I want to keep as much floor space free as possible. So I've got an auto elec teed up who's going to sort out all this rubbish, but I think it might be a good idea to run up here because it'd be a good use of space. So I can make a nice timber cabinet here, got plenty of fixings to work off. I'm just worried about the doors, whether it's going to affect the mechanism because there's all this stuff in here for the doors, but I think it should be right. But I need to figure out a way of making this door more secure as well because she's very flimsy, quite easy to break into. That's obviously going to happen later down the track, but I think I will utilize this as a place to store my batteries. It's a fairly solid frame, like all this is welded up pretty good, so I think I'm going to go with that. So yeah. Well, first window's out. I sort of butchered it a little bit because I was looking at a thing online and old mate said that there's a screw in the top, but turns out there isn't for mine. But good thing is we can have some spares, so I can swap it over later. So we want to pull these apart later, have a look and see if we can turn it into, instead of a sliding window, 2-track system. I want to put one pane of glass in here and the other pane of glass in the other side, so then it's double glazed. So I'll put a time lapse on and we'll pull out this whole side of windows, and then yeah, we'll have a look at them all, clean up all the shit out of in the inserts because there's a fair bit of dirt and stuff in there. Give them a good clean up. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of silicone holding this window in, so it's a little bit concerning, but anyway, it's better to do it now and do it properly, and we all know it's right. Well, all the windows are out on one side. Unfortunately, I think these panels are going to have to go because I just don't trust how they are. They're pretty flimsy and I don't trust that they're well insulated. So we'll leave the kicker board down there. That can stay. That's pretty solid. But yeah, gonna have to remove all this panel So, and it's got these nightmare, like they've got the small rivets which are alright, but these big bastards are a nightmare to get rid of. So, yeah, I'm not keen on that, but it is what it is. So, get all them up, then I'll clean all the garbage, old silicone out from the window cavities, and then, yeah, I've got to find, as I said, a glazier, because I reckon we're going to be able to use these window frames. I just want to paint them black, neaten them up a bit, and then, yeah, put some new glass in them. I reckon the emergency exit windows, if they fit, which is right there, they pop out like out the back like that. If I put a full pane of glass in them, might try and whack them in the front too. I have 4 of them, so front 2 on each side, and then that way I have windows that lift out, so I can open windows, pass stuff through, because I do plan on putting a bench table down at the bottom there for outdoor cooking, and then an awning out that side. So definitely that side I want to have 2 windows that can open, but I don't want to use the fold up, fold down standard window, because I don't trust it for water. Everyone online seems to think they leak. So if I can do that, that'll be ideal. Yeah, bit of annoying, bit of a drawback, but that's what happens when you buy a second-hand bus. You gotta figure out things on the fly a bit, but I think it'll definitely be worth it if I do that instead. So yeah, I might just have to duck down the hardware, grab some stuff to remove this silicone, whether it be a scraper, because that Stanley knife's not going to do the job. One side panel fully off. Pretty glad I took it all off because the insulation is not great. Took a bit longer than I thought, like most things, but it's getting there. Smaller rivets helped, but there were still these gnarly big ones on this outside edge and in the middle and on the other edge, but that's one side done. So start pulling these windows out, do the other side, and then tomorrow we'll pressure wash, clean all this stuff, clean the floor, so then hopefully on Saturday I can paint the floor. Had a few other ideas whilst doing this. Got a hole in the floor there, might try and run services through that. Obviously got water tanks, both grey and clean water going in underneath the bus. So I might try and utilise that hole so I don't have to punch another hole through the floor. Sorry, not the roof, the floor. But yeah, that's where we're up to. As you can see here, some of that insulation is not even in properly. But yeah, gonna keep this edge. Some people take it out. That's the edge that the chairs bolt to, but I'm gonna leave it in just as a bit of a structural piece. It's pretty sturdy, and then yeah, if we want to mount anything to it, like when we're framing and stuff, that'll be handy. But yeah, that's where we're up to today. So as I said, hopefully get this side all done today. Bus will be fully open. There's no rain coming for the next 2 days, so I'd like to try and get as much done so we're not wet inside, even though I am only cleaning the inside of this bus with pressure washer, so it's gonna get wet. But yeah. Oh, got a mechanic coming tomorrow who's a mate of mine to just double check everything. I said I drove this bus 3 hours home. Sorry about the compressor. And yeah, drove the bus 3 hours home, and it made it without a drama. It was running like a clock. Steering was tight, so hopefully that's a good sign. I did jump under there when we looked at it, and yeah, nothing really seemed out of sorts, but I ain't a mechanic and I've got bugger all mechanical experience. So from my untrained eye, it looked all right, but I'm just a simple concreter. So yeah, let's keep on keeping on, and I'll get another time lapse going when I pull these windows out so you can actually see how it's done. Yeah, that's it. So, window removal, show you how it's done. That's bead of silicone, you have to cut on both sides. Then on the inside of the window, there's like 4 screws. Oh, sorry, 3 on each side. 1, 2, 3. Pull them off, and then you just jimmy them out. Like even on this inside, you don't even have to cut the silicone. but I usually try and run the knife along the bottom as well, because sometimes there is, as you can see, a bit of silicone along the bottom. But yeah, you just go along to all the windows. It's actually been the easiest job so far out of this whole bloody build, is removing these windows. Obviously we've got to take that AC out as well, but yeah, the windows have actually been pretty good. So just run your blade like so, down that. Doing this opposite hand, so it's not the easiest. But yeah, as you can see on that one, there is bugger all silicone at the bottom there. And come on this side, same thing. Nice and deep. And yeah, just work my way along, and then I'll jump on the other side and show you the other side. Alright, so these are 1, 2, 3 are the 3 screws you take out. I thought you had to take these ones out as well, but they're just the stoppers to stop the window moving in the channel. So, but yeah, it's literally three bolts on each side to take out, and that's it. Like, it's pretty simple. I'll put the camera down and I'll pull one out now and show you how simple it is. That is how easy it is. So I'll spin the camera around, we'll do a time lapse going that way. But yeah, it's a piece of piss really. Now, I know I'm carrying on a bit, but when I bought the bus I wasn't going to take the windows out, but I'm glad I did, because look, that is the silicone they've used, and it's like 1/3 of the sill. So yeah, definitely was going to get moisture in, and like, look at that, all that silicone's buggered. So I'm glad we took it out, because that could have been a drama. I mean, last thing I want to do is, like, I got bunk beds going here, plasterboard going along here, and then all the moisture getting in, and yeah, it would have been a nightmare. So I'm definitely glad we took them out. Just got to take this AC unit out, and the other one, and then take this panel out. And yeah, that's it for today. It's getting bloody hot, so. Alright, more rivets, more rivets, more rivets. So let's take the last of these boards off, and hopefully that is the end of the rivet pandemic. I'm getting over them, they take forever. But anyway, last sheet of demo. Hopefully it's all done before the sun goes down. Get another time lapse. Good morning. Well, day 4 I think. On the bus, got all the panels off last night. GoPro went dead, so I didn't film much of it, but you've all seen plenty of that action. All the installation's out. Loaded up the truck for a tip run today, this morning, before getting started. So just gotta wait for bit of time. Want to try and get as much done in the cooler weather as I can, because it gets pretty hot here at the moment. So we're just cleaning the sills out of all the gunk and stuff. So when I do a tip run, I'll go get some acetone to get all the leftover silicone off. But that's how they come up, all clean. It's not too bad. But yeah, I really want to get all these windows cleaned, because today when I'm out as well, I'm going to take one of those window frames with me. Found a glazier who's gonna have a look at the frames and see if they can do double glazing for me. And then the sooner we get these back into these cavities, and put the sheet metal at the back cavities where I'm blocking off those windows, the sooner the bus will be air conditioned, so it'll be a lot nicer to work in here. So rather than just being in a hot tin can. So yeah, just keep cleaning these up, and then hopefully by the Savo I'll have all these cleaned and the floor pressure washed, and I'll grab a wire wheel while I'm out, so then that way we can wire wheel the floor. And yeah, I really want to try and paint the floor tomorrow, so with some Kill Rust body paint. Well, that's all the window frames cleaned up, all done. So just going to head to the tip now, get rid of all that rubbish, and take those spare window frames over there to the glazier. Hopefully we can get them sorted today. As I said, the sooner we get the windows back in, the sooner there's AC. In regard to cleaning the sills, everyone online said it's a nightmare of a job, but I didn't find it too bad. I think maybe because it was a warmer climate here, and the silicone was pretty soft, so it come up really easy. But yeah, just got to, while I'm out, get some acetone, and I'll give it a wire wheel as well, just to be double sure that it's clean and ready to go, so that the windows are properly stuck in. Right. Well, they said no rain today, but we are in the tropics and it is absolutely pissing down at the moment. Trying to not get too much water in the bus, but yeah, it's failing a bit. Anyway, I've got all the power tools out, and yeah, just gotta let it pass because it is pissing down. But if it's like any other day, it'll only be like this for 5 or 10 minutes, hopefully. But yeah, got all the power tools out. But yeah, I do have to pressure wash the bus today, so this is probably gonna help. So anyway, let this pass and get back into it, I suppose. There's the thunder. It is absolutely pissing down. Well, that's a wrap on day, I think it's 4. Yeah, day 4. So didn't get to pressure wash in here because the storm took too long, but it sort of cleaned itself. But I did acetone all the window sills. They're all clean now, which is good. No remnants of silicone or adhesive. So yeah, but we did have a bit of a hold up today. I went to the glass manufacturer and they said they weren't interested in using the old frames, so we've got to find a different route. Looks like we might have to get some custom made windows, but it's only half the bus because we're going to sheet metal these back 4 windows. All are going to be sheet metal because obviously we've got a garage in here, don't want people looking in and seeing bikes, and also bunk beds along here. So don't need those, but I do need to find a welder now. But I think we're going to reuse the roof sheets as sheet metal. There's plenty there. It's all pretty flat, but that also means I'm probably going to have to paint the bus. So I didn't really want to do that straight away. I wanted to keep it yellow and black, but I was looking online and they said it's actually illegal to have your bus original colours, and you got to get rid of the front lights and rear lights. So, and you can't have any branding of school bus on it. So, got to think of a colour scheme, have a bit of an idea, but just going to wait and see what happens. But yeah, got a mechanic coming tonight just to look over everything while we're having tea. But yeah, that's it for today because we've got to go out for dinner. But tomorrow we'll be back into it. As I said, first thing, pressure wash. And then I bought a grinder wheel, so you're gonna buff out all the dirt and grime on the edges on the pan, get that pretty spotless. And then hopefully also tomorrow we'll have a result on the windows. Because if we have a result on them, then we can figure out a plan of attack and move on to whatever's next. But yeah, it's all happening. So I'll keep you in touch. Good morning. So I think it's day 4 or 5 on the bus build, but here we are. Today is going to be a pretty simple day. Managed to get all the floor swept up, ready for floor prep today. So we're gonna just get rid of that pile of shit there and any other little piles, and then get the pressure washer in here, pressure wash all this floor down, and then we're gonna wire wheel it all so it's nice and clean, and then yeah, painting with chassis repair. So that's what's recommended online to be the best thing to create a good protective barrier on your floor. Reason we're doing it today is because I'm going fishing tomorrow, so I have an extra day to cure. But yeah, managed to get, as I said, all these window frames acetoned yesterday. Had a mechanic come yesterday to look at the motor, and everything was really good. So just had one small oil leak, but that's just a easy fix. The belts, or the fan belt was a bit average, but cheap fix. And then it was just a little low on coolant. So pretty happy with the buy. To have someone else look at it, third party, and they said that yeah, we did well. So as I said, $5 for the bus. And he said that motor alone on its own is worth $5. So pretty happy. He's coming back next week to sort all that stuff out and a few other minor things. There's an alarm that keeps going on since I got it home. I think it's because I disconnected one of these wires, like one of these ones here. Disconnected one of them with the safety door, like the safety emergency exit windows. And then also these two emergency exit windows are unhooked as well. So I think it's from that. So my mechanic friend is chasing up an auto elect for me as well, because I want to pull all this, like neaten all this wiring up before we start framing out, because these lights have to go. Found out online it's illegal to have them in the bus. So you've got to get rid of them, and then also found out you can't keep the yellow and black paint scheme, which is what I wanted to keep, but yeah, apparently it's illegal. So at some stage I'll have to paint the bus. Not sure what colour yet, but wait and see. Probably something pretty neutral. As I said, I'd like to keep it yellow and black, but you're not allowed. So yeah, put on a time lapse and we'll get stuck into this floor, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. I got to size up some tanks underneath as well for water. So once that's done, but yeah, once the floor's painted, I won't be walking on this for a good day, so give it a good time to cure. Well, floor panel pressure washed, come up pretty good. So now we're going to get the wire wheel out, clean up all this leftover adhesive, let it dry. So hopefully you've got a blower here so we can dry it quickly. ready for paint. Happy days. Here we are, heading out for another day on the water, free diving with Captain Bill and the crew. Should be no wind today, nice and calm, 35 to 40 miles offshore. Hopefully we get some red snapper, a few cobia, see what else we see. Probably see a few sharks as well.
Okay.
Give it hell, Bill.
Yeah.